So I guess when I'm talking to the YouTube, I'll look over here, and when I'm talking to you, I'll look over here. This is gonna be so strange. It feels like we're going back to being super awkward in front of everything, like we were at the beginning.
It's a weird setup.
It is. Okay, here we go. Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Josh.
I'm Chris.
And with our powers combined, we are Garner Brothers Movie Lovers. I think there might be a bit of a delay.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. Welcome back, everybody. Chris has moved to Iowa. We're doing remote videos, and this is the first one, and it's super weird. Everything's weird. So bear with us while we're trying to figure out how this all works. But don't forget to like the video. And if you don't, it will self-destruct in 5 seconds or whatever. Because we're reviewing Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 today. This movie needs no introduction. This is, the 7th installment? Just have Ethan Hunt, a super awesome spy. So much so, I think Alec Baldwin says something about him being the embodiment of all that is good or something like that.
The living manifestation of destiny. That's what he calls him.
Sir, Hunt is the living manifestation of destiny.
So, the greatest person ever. He's doing the greatest spy stuff ever. And boy, am I excited every time one of these movies comes out.
Same. Film stars Tom Cruise, of course, is directed by Christopher McQuarrie again. It also stars all the people from the previous Mission Impossible film and adds Haley Atwell and a new bad guy.
Asai Morales.
Okay. And what's the name of the girl from Guardians of the Galaxy who's in this one? She makes a little bit of an impression.
What are you talking about? There's a girl from Guardians of the Galaxy in this movie?
Yeah, the super crazy Asian fighter girl in this movie is Mantis.
What?
Yeah, it's Pom Klementieff. Yeah, I'm probably butchering her last name.
I've never seen her as an Asian, as a blonde. I've never seen her as an Asian before. I've never seen her as a blonde before, I guess. We've also got Carrie Elwes.
Oh, not in very much of it. Man, I forgot he was in it at all.
Also, Kittredge is back in this movie. The actor, why does everyone have weird names? Henry Kizerny. Yep, that's wrong. We're just going to call him Kittredge.
Yep. It was fun to see Kittredge back. It's surprising because he hasn't been in any of them since the original.
And all the biggest stunts in the land are in this movie, as you can expect.
Can I just start by saying I'm shocked at the lack of excitement for this film? Like, it's done pretty underwhelmingly in theaters, and I cannot imagine why. Mission Impossible is one of the most bankable action franchises ever. It has one of the most steadily good list of movies.
I think the last one is probably my favorite one ever. How is everyone not going to see this movie? I just don't get it.
I don't know, and critics love it. And audience scores are really positive. I have no idea. Especially bad for the movie. Because it was delayed over COVID, this movie ended up costing over $300 million. So for them not to be doing better is really bad for Paramount. And
$300 million is a lot of money.
It's an extremely expensive film.
I think we should also probably address, this movie came out forever ago. So apparently this channel is the channel where we review movies that are no longer relevant.
At the time of recording, it's still in theaters, but there are way fewer screens now than there were.
And it's not in IMAX anymore because it got booted out of IMAX from
by Oppenheimer. Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
After just 1 week.
Yeah, I guess Tom Cruise was so upset about that happening, he started making phone calls around the country to small town movie theaters, asking them if they would play Mission Impossible on their next biggest screen. Can you imagine if you're just some dude who's
Joe Blow movie owner and Tom Cruise calls you personally?
I really need you to play this on your biggest screen that's not IMAX. Okay, Tom Cruise, sounds good. And
You
he's
gotta
like-
love his passion.
Yeah, he loves it.
As far as this Mission Impossible film goes, I will say I don't know that I like it as much as the last three. I think the whole train sequence at the end is fantastic.
It's incredible.
Yes.
I mean, action sequences, it's never more intense than Mission Impossible, and this movie does not disappoint, especially, oh my gosh, the train sequence at the end of this movie. I also love, there's an incredibly entertaining car chase in the middle of this movie.
Yes.
With Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell, where they're handcuffed together.
And Tom Cruise is
It's
drifting with one arm, which is real. He's really driving the car. He's really drifting around corners, one-armed. All of that was shot. He's really doing the driving. Of course he is. He's a stunt driver now.
Instead of giving him the fast car and all the spy gadgets, they give him this doofy little car, and he's handcuffed, but he's handcuffed with the wrong hand and has to drive with this hand. They give him all the possible disadvantages. It made for an incredibly hilarious and intense, great sequence. I think that Haley Atwell and Tom Cruise's dynamic in this movie was great. It seems like they don't really have any sort of significant relationships between Tom Cruise and a woman that continue throughout movies.
Except for Rebecca Ferguson, they have like 4,
That's
5,
true.
and 5, 6, and 7 now have had Rebecca Ferguson in them, and I do like how they've kind of brought his wife back a few times.
Sure.
So they have had some things like that, although he hasn't really had a significant romantic relationship, and his relationship with Rebecca Ferguson's character is only hinted at kind of in these films.
And I think this relationship isn't necessarily romantic. It's just a
Right.
And neither was Rebecca Ferguson's, really. It was maybe more of a will they, won't they sort of a thing.
I think it kind of showed, and there is a scene between them that I think kind of more than hints that they've had a romantic relationship, but it is pretty subtle.
I thought she was great.
I'm sure she'll be in the next
thought
one.
she added well to the movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll be in 8.
I wanted to say, I feel like maybe they've been struggling in the Mission Impossible movies to find a new problem. It's either a big bomb or a different undercover agency, like an evil version of Mission Impossible. What's their?
IMF.
They have the dumbest name. What is it? IMF.
The Impossible Missions
The Impossible Mission Force. That is such a dumb name, by the way. But it's like either there's an evil IMF or there's a big bomb. It seems to be what they're doing every time.
Yep.
It's a little tired, but I'm still excited every time I see one in the movies. But I just know what's gonna happen. I know Ethan's gonna go rogue. I know what the bad guys are gonna be. But I really thought that this movie brought something new to the table that we haven't seen in one of these movies yet. AI was the big thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was. I feel like typically when we're dealing with AI in movies, it's some dystopian future version of what AI will be, and it's like, watch out, because AI could be Terminator. But I really liked that in this movie, it was more like, how could AI be a very dangerous problem in our day right now? And they were able to make AI very scary in this movie.
I would agree with you if Eagle Eye hadn't done it 10 years ago. I feel like this movie owes some of its story to Eagle.
Except that Eagle Eye starts really good and progressively
Gets worse.
and then ends really poorly, and this movie doesn't do that. This movie consistently stays good and complex, and by the end is like, whoa, the next movie's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas in Eagle Eye, somehow the AI blows up that cable and the cable falls down and electrocutes that guy. And you're like, how did the AI do that? And then at the end of the movie, the AI is just another like robot, like any other future dystopian AI thing. It just kind of fell apart for me in Eagle Eye.
No, I will agree with you that Eagle Eye is not a good movie. I just felt like a lot of the things that this movie does had already been done, and so it didn't feel as original to me because I had seen that before. But this movie does it better.
True. I did like that it was that part was different for Mission Impossible. It has been done before in other movies, obviously.
I agree with you. I'm a little tired of some of the tropes of Mission Impossible, though. I'm so tired of Tom Cruise going rogue. How is it possible that he goes rogue on every mission? Doesn't IMF ever actually get anything right? because I swear he is Rogue in every movie except the worst one.
Yeah, it's true. In this movie, they even talked about him going rogue. They said it like 10 times. All right, it doesn't make it better.
Pointing out that he always does it does not absolve you of always having him do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of helps if somebody points it out, if it's like the first time they've ever done something, it's self-aware and it's kind of silly. But if this is the 10th movie or something, and he's done it 9 times, just stop doing it. What else we can't not talk about the stunt. If you don't know this already, who the heck are you? What's wrong with you? Stop watching this video and go watch all the videos that show Tom Cruise actually doing these stupid, crazy stunts in real life. We talked a little bit in the Indiana Jones movie about how doing splits on the Jeeps and sword fighting is just not realistic, so there's no tension. There's more tension in action stunts if it feels real. Well, Tom Cruise would do the splits on 2 Jeeps right into the jungle while doing a sword fight. He would do that, and it would be real. And when you're watching it in the movies, it would be so intense because you would know it was real. And in this movie, he rides a motorcycle off of a cliff. In the other movies, he does all the other crazy stunts. He does a big stunt in every movie that should be fake, but it's real. And that makes it so much more crazy when you're watching these movies. Go watch one of those videos. You can watch them and they're insane. Tom Cruise is a crazy person.
Can I actually recommend, if you haven't seen the behind the scenes footage of him ramping off, go see the real movie first and then go watch that. Having seen the behind the scenes footage actually cheapened the movie for me just a little bit because it kind of ruined the illusion for me. I was still impressed with that scene because when he goes off that ramp, the camera like follows him down. It's actually way more majestic looking than I thought it was going to be. Like, having seen all of the behind the scenes stuff, I thought I knew what I was going to get. But the actual finished scene of him going off,
he's falling
and it
through
follows
the
him
air,
down so far, and you're like, wow, this was incredible.
Yeah, it doesn't disappoint once again.
It's just
I think my phone just died.
It's going to be a bummer. We'll have a lot of good footage, and then we'll have some really crappy footage for a while.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Ooh, I will add, there's also a really cool fight scene in this movie in an extremely narrow alleyway.
Oh my gosh, the claustrophobia in that scene.
I thought that was also really effective.
Is there anything in particular that kind of bothered you about the movie?
I do have problems with this film, Josh, which is why I didn't love it quite as much as the last 3. I have 2 big problems with the movie. I did not understand why Tom Cruise felt compelled to give Hayley Atwell's character the benefit of the doubt so many times. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
She was clearly self-interested to the point where if I was him several times, I would have been like, hey, I'm done with you. And he never is done with her. And I just didn't know why. So and I think her acting is great, but I didn't like her character at all.
It's because he's the embodiment of destiny and everything that is good in the world or whatever.
That's right. My other gripe is about the bad guy, not the AI, but the AI's little stoogey guy that runs around.
Oh, yeah.
So he's supposed to have some past with Tom Cruise, whatever. That doesn't really land emotionally ever in the film, but just giving him the benefit of doubt. What I don't get about this he doesn't have a whole lot of character, right? Like there's no hook. He's not a really great bad guy like the guy in Mission Impossible 5 or the guy in Mission Impossible 3. There are a couple Mission Impossibles with just a great villain, and this guy is just milquetoast. But the problem with him is he wins all these fights against all these people who we've seen do amazing things. And I just don't believe it. Like, it shows that this guy beating them, but never at any point does this guy do anything that I'm like, oh, he's crazy good. No, he just seems like a totally average guy who somehow beats everybody every time he gets in a fight with them. And I didn't love that. So that's my other gripe.
That didn't necessarily bother me with him. I guess I didn't understand why this guy wants to destroy humanity with artificial intelligence.
They tried to explain that, but yeah.
Whatever explanation they brought to the table, I just didn't buy it.
I think their explanation in the film was that he's like some kind of sadistic maniac and he wants to kill everyone in the whole world.
Yeah, but then I think of the line from Guardians of the Galaxy where he says,
"What has the galaxy ever done for you? Why would you want to save it?" "Because I'm one of the idiots who lives in it."
So why doesn't he want to destroy the world? He's one of the idiots who lives on it.
You get a little taste of how someone becomes an agent of the IMF in this movie that I thought was some cool lore.
I liked that as well.
So it doesn't really work in every previous film, but I do like it.
It's time for Good, Fine, Bad.
Good! Fine. Good. Bad. Ugh.
Fine.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Chris, what did you think of the movie?
I thought it was good. What did you think?
I think it was good as well. In case this is your first time watching, good means we recommend you go see this movie in theaters. So if this movie by chance is still in theaters by the time our video comes out,
Go see it. I just don't understand why people aren't going to see this movie.
well, I think the problem is right now there are 7 movies in theaters that I want to see. And we haven't had that in like 4 years.
I have a couple spoilery thoughts. Can I just say that I love the one train falling off at a time, one car at a time off the edge of that cliff.
Yeah.
And they have to get through every car. That's just one of the brilliant things about that scene. But I also love earlier, she's wearing the mask of the White Widow. And I thought the actress who plays the White Widow did an amazing job acting like Haley Atwell's character.
Acting
in that
like Haley
scene.
Atwell being the other person.
Exactly. It's amazing to me when somebody does that in a scene and you totally buy that you're watching this other character when it's being acted by a completely different actor. That's good acting. And I totally bought that. I thought that was a great scene as well. Okay, another spoilery gripe. I hate that they killed Rebecca Ferguson's character in this movie.
Yeah,
I
me
hate
too. That was really
So-
really disappointing.
So sad. Like, I really like her character. I loved that there was another character that they were continuing through the movies. I liked that she had some kind of relationship with Tom Cruise. We didn't really know too much about.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
kind of why I said they don't ever really like let anything last in these movies between Tom Cruise and
because
another.
they kill her.
Because they just killed the one person that like I
Yeah.
liked the most that he's had a relationship with, and
And see, this goes back to my complaint about why would Tom Cruise continually try and help Haley Atwell's character? Because he chooses her over Rebecca Ferguson. Chooses her is because he thinks Rebecca Ferguson can take care of herself for reasons that just surpass understanding to me. Everybody wants to save this dumb girl. And so now I feel like you lose Rebecca Ferguson and you get a character that I don't even like. That really rubbed me wrong. The one reason why I will say it could be worth it to do it the way they did it is because it takes a loss like Rebecca Ferguson's character to really sell you on just what it means to become an IMF agent. Because when that was the sacrifice, and now Haley Atwell's character is like in the lowest place, that's when they come to her and they say, you have a choice. So she knows she cost the life of Rebecca Ferguson's character. They all know that too, and they're still willing to give her the choice. And now she's willing to take it. Whereas all the previous times she wasn't willing to take it because of who she was. But now that this has happened, it really changes her. And I believe that. And I don't know that you could have sold that with anything less than the death of a major character or something like that.
A spoilery thing that I really liked when Simon Pegg is giving Tom Cruise directions as he's running through.
And it stops being him.
town, and then the AI takes over and like
Yep.
copies his voice.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
was so daunting and
Yeah.
menacing, and
Yeah,
that was one of those moments where I was like, AI is so scary, and like
it
this
really is.
is a real thing. This is a real thing.
Yeah, that was a good scene to sell you on just how scary the AI is. That was really well done. So this Morales guy, look at who he beats in hand-to-hand combat. He kills Rebecca Ferguson's character. At no point do I see him do anything that would make me believe that he could kill her. Look at who she's fought in the past. When she has a one-on-one with the Bone Doctor at the end of Mission Impossible 5, that is a daunting fight. And you watch her beat him and you're like, wow, that's awesome. When you watch her lose this fight, you're like, how did that happen? In no universe is this guy better than the Bone Doctor was. Then he beats the crazy Asian girl in hand-to-hand combat. And you watched her fight Tom Cruise earlier and you're like, wow, she's great. And then he just beats her and you're like, how did that happen? And then he even beats Tom Cruise on top of the train. Like Tom Cruise manages to escape with the thing at the end, but he loses in the fight on top of the train to this guy. And I'm like, how is this guy beating everybody? Oh, it's just, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it from his character.
The thing is, like,
They try to say that, like, because AI says he'll win, but like it doesn't really.
But he still
it
has
doesn't
to
really work
win.
that way.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
still has to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So
But they weren't able to like convincingly sell that he would be able to do it all.
Hey, another really cool thing about the AI that I just remembered. Do you remember that Luther stops Tom Cruise at one point and he's like, look, the AI just forced him to kill someone you love. Means the AI wants you to kill him. And if you go on that train and you kill him, you're going to be doing what the AI wants you to do. Like, I thought that was a really, really cool thing. Like for Luther to like think this through and be like, wait a minute. I thought that was an awesome scene.
yeah,
And at the end, the last thing I'll say, everything goes the way that the AI predicted, except Tom Cruise does manage to get the key at the end. It is possible to outthink the AI.
Except, hold on, because all we heard was that the AI predicted that the keys would both be brought to Morales. And they were. That's all that we heard. So we don't know what else the AI knew was going to happen.
But it seemed clear to me at the end, the bad guy was supposed to do something.
yeah,
with those-
but we never heard what was supposed to happen after that. Like the AI could know that this was going to happen.
It could seem now like maybe Ethan Hunt has got the upper hand, but when the next movie starts, they could show us that this is all just the next thing that the AI knew was going to happen.
That's possible. I think I'd have to see the movie again, actually. But I did get like the distinct feeling that he finally beat the AI at the end, at the very end, when the bad guy
I do think
realizes he
that's what
doesn't
they
have the
wanted
key.
you to think at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But when I thought about it,
Well, wait a minute. I don't think when we were hearing the big picture of what the AI was predicting was going to happen, that we got anything past that the keys would be brought to that character.
and they both were.
All right, now I got to go see it again.
Well, I could be wrong, but those were my thoughts at the end.
Could be.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say.
Yeah, I got nothing.
The video quality is going to be pretty poor about halfway through this video. So, like I said, bear with us. We'll be better. We'll get better.
But
We'll figure it out.
But thanks for joining us this time. Thanks for liking the video. Thanks for sharing the video. Thanks for following the channel and doing all the things you're supposed to do so that your computer and phone and device you're using doesn't self-destruct.
This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.